All right, guys, welcome to the podcast. Pitch Perfect.
Welcome back.
How's everybody doing? Perfect.
Doing good.
How's the pitch?
Not perfect.
Well, Afghanistan are having the same complaints right now.
Bro, what a close game.
What a close game,
Man.
and what an unprecedented blunder by the Afghanis. I don't know if you know what happened.
Oh, I watched the game.
You know what I mean?
I watched the game. So close.
So close yet
That
far.
seems to be the trend. With
You know the statement "so close yet so far"
Yeah.
personified today.
Yeah.
Honestly, they got there. How they got there is just amazing.
Yeah.
Absolute blistering strikes from Afghani middle orders.
Yeah.
They got there. They had it in the palm of their hands, and they just let it drop.
And we were actually discussing that before
Yeah.
you came. They actually, commentators were actually talking about
Mm.
this day, how they didn't know that they could still hit a six off the last three balls.
Last three balls.
And they would have qualified, and the guy just stopped.
Yeah.
Oh.
And sitting outside, it looked so unprofessional. It's like, what is
Yeah.
going on? What are you guys doing? Are you guys not?
The lack of communication. I think management didn't know.
Yeah,
I think they didn't know, and they didn't
Yeah.
communicate that to Russia. Because if you took that single,
Yeah.
and Russia did a six, they qualify.
You could have. It was a
Yeah.
spinner too.
Yeah,
It was a spinner.
He stopped a full toss.
He stopped the full toss.
I think it's a lack of inexperience as a board.
Yes. Lack of
Board.
inexperience,
Lack
lack of
Lack
concentration,
of experience.
lack of experience. Yes.
So,
Yes, you're right.
Yeah.
So
No,
they.
as a board,
Yeah.
they've been struggling. I think in these pressure moments,
Yeah.
it's happened to them a few times now, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
You know,
Yeah,
they come
even
so
like
close.
with Pakistan. So many
Yeah.
games.
I mean, we don't like it when it's against Pakistan, but
Yeah.
think about thrillers in the last over,
Mhm.
right? And
Mhm.
who's scoring runs? Ninth wicket.
Mhm.
Naseem Shah
Yeah.
pulls off two
Yeah.
fantastic
Yeah.
wins,
Yeah.
but they theoretically should have won those games.
Those
And today.
Those games and today,
and today.
right?
It
So-
was a game in hand.
And this is a big thing on the management part,
Mhm.
not communicating that you still have a chance.
But also as a team, I feel like with the World Cup around the corner, when you score 290
Yeah.
in 37 overs,
Yeah.
Mhm.
they manage that.
Mhm.
You know, against a good side like Sri Lanka, they got good spinners, good
Uh-huh.
seamers,
Mhm.
a lot of young talent coming through that country as well.
Mhm.
So to score 290 in 37 overs, I know they lost all their wickets,
Mhm.
but at the same time, I feel like it stings, but as a team, I feel like you got that boost. You're like, you know what, we can chase anything.
Yeah.
If you really put it like
Doesn't
that.
Afghanistan team right now kind of remind you of like the early 2000s, like Pakistan, like early to late, like 2010s, like somewhere around there?
Yeah.
You
A
know,
little
on
bit.
their day,
Yes.
you know, they're the
You
best
never
team.
know.
Yeah.
You just never know.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, remember last time I said that Afghanistan is a bowling team.
Yeah.
I will take it back. I think they are more batting.
Yeah.
They're batting heavy
They-
team.
they got
In the
a lot
Clint
more
situations,
batting, yeah.
they got hit for 343. How many? 297 runs? No, 322
Today,
today. They got
291.
291,
Yeah.
right? And they chased it under the crunch.
Yeah.
37.1 overs. They got
Pressure.
there.
They got there and
They
just
got
fumbled
there
the bag,
couple balls in
Yeah.
hand.
Yeah.
And they still could. But well, it was just inexperience and just lack of concentration that they lost the game with.
Yeah.
Other than that, I think it was a phenomenal effort by Afghanistan.
Yeah.
But
I feel bad for Rashid just standing on the other side after that effort.
yeah.
You know?
I've seen those sad faces far too many times, and
Yeah.
usually it
yeah.
doesn't bother you as much because the side was like Pakistan, so you were kind of like, okay,
Yeah.
I feel bad, but today is different.
Yeah.
Hit
Yeah,
different.
yeah,
And
you
good
know?
crowd too.
Good crowd.
Good crowd.
Good crowd.
yes.
Both games for them.
You know what?
Like,
Afghanistan is turning into actually proper cricketing nation from before, where
Yeah.
like just the team itself
Yeah.
was so unprofessional.
Yeah.
Out of the ordinary. Acting or just being, you can say bush cricketers at one point on the field to now being, having good crowd.
Yeah.
Not only the players and the team is maturing up,
Yeah.
but also the crowd and their fans.
Yeah, the
are
fans. I
also
feel like not the cricketers, but the fans were more
much
bush.
more.
The cricketers were good.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
fans are maturing up for sure. They
Yeah, well, of
understand.
course, you have to look at it from a point of view like Afghanistan historically being a war-torn country for
Yeah.
such a long time.
Yeah.
Not a lot going on.
Yeah.
I don't think they have any other national sports.
Yeah.
So as a whole nation,
Mhm.
right, this is one team that they can all cheer for.
Yeah.
So in the coming years, you're definitely going to see a lot from them. You know,
Yeah.
they're not something that's going away. It's
Yeah.
gonna get
No,
better
I-
and better and
I
better.
think they got a good chance to be go far in that. Not to go far in that next tournament that's coming up, the big one.
Speaking of last week, you guys owe me some credit
For
because you
Oh
guys had
yeah,
a
you
prediction.
predicted Bangladesh. Yeah.
You guys predicted Afghanistan to win.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bangladesh won quite comfortably.
Bangladesh versus Afghanistan.
Bangladesh,
Yes.
Afghanistan.
I said Bangladesh was gonna win, and
Ah,
I
We
said
have it on record.
yes,
but
yes,
now.
yes. What I said was, when he said when you guys said that Afghanistan is basically Lahore is like their home ground, right?
Yeah.
I said given that, I think Afghanistan uh, should qualify before before Bangladesh, but that's not gonna happen.
I don't know. We'll have to see
We'll
the
have-
tapes.
yeah, you
We'll
guys-
have to see the tapes.
I believe there's a
But,
video on YouTube
if I'm wrong, I
that would
apologize.
prove you wrong real fast.
So yeah, that's.
But yes, his prediction.
Well, let's talk about the game first. So a lot of credit to Sri Lanka captain.
Yeah.
Came through, gave some clutch overs to a lot of the younger spinners.
Uh-huh.
Even though they went for runs early on, and then he supported them
Yeah.
in a crunch situation when they were going 10, 12 and over,
Mhm.
and he said, you know what, come, this is the spot, you can bowl, get those wickets for me, and that's what changed the game for them because the captain was set, Shahidi was set, taking the game, run a ball, he was scoring 100 strike rate, but he was there, he was continuously taking the scoreboard, and the guys around him were going after the balls. And Sri Lankans held in. There's a couple of good catches at the boundary,
Yeah.
just to bring the game back. And
I see your point. I see what you're saying, but I'm not going to give any credit to Team Sri Lanka today.
because they got it for 290.
First of all, they were defending 291 against Afghanistan, which is a pretty decent total.
Yeah.
And they basically Afghanistan basically chased it down in 37.1 overs.
No, I'm saying credit to him for trusting in the youngsters, right?
Yes,
So even if you were watching the game, you would see that a lot of the bowlers and there were some good hits. Don't get me wrong, they were batting really well, some good hits, and all of a sudden, he said, you know what, I know you got hit, come back, bowl some overs. I know you can get me a wicket, and they picked up 2 key wickets, and then I believe it was a 32nd over or 34th over, and then that changed the game.
Yeah, exactly. And I was expecting a lot much better performance from Sri Lankan spinners, given it's what's it called?
Not in Lahore, batting track.
No, but still they have quality
They
spinners.
do have quality spinners.
They have quality spinners.
But that
Dikshana, Velalage,
Yeah.
these guys are not bad spinners. These guys should perform in. Yes, young team. I get it. There's a lot of youngsters, in the team. But all I'm saying is getting hit for 291 in 37.1 overs.
Yeah.
Almost basically losing the game, but
That's carnage.
yeah,
That's carnage.
that's
If you really think
carnage,
about it, they went
yeah.
out there,
At the end of the day, the W counts.
the W counts. Yes, the
Absolutely.
W counts.
Absolutely.
I feel sorry for Afghanistan, and I just
The
wish
road
good luck
doesn't
to-
seem to get any easier for them either. Coming with the World Cup, like the group that they're in,
That's true.
that's
That's
and
true.
conditions, different conditions altogether.
Are you talking about Afghanistan?
Afghanistan, yeah.
Yeah. And then, well, that leads us to Super 4. Teams that qualify: Pakistan, India, obviously, and then
I'm
Sri
not too
Lanka.
happy with the 3-3 point. Just
They didn't get that second game, but that's okay.
Didn't get the second.
But the good thing is it's not semifinals and final. It's the Super 4, so they
Mhm.
all play each other.
They
Right.
play each other once.
They play each other once, and the top 2 will play the final.
Top 2 will play the final.
So, having said that game against Pakistan versus Bangladesh is the last game in Lahore.
Mhm.
After that, all the games are in Colombo,
Mhm.
Sri Lanka. So that puts a lot of emphasis on this game because a lot of the other games will be weather permitted,
Mhm.
whether it rains or not. So you're looking at a must-win game for Pakistan at this moment.
Yeah.
Because if they win, they don't have to worry about a game getting rained out, or it gives them a little bit of cushion, right? Because if, let's say, the next game is against India on Sunday, right? If that game rains out or is in the same situation as it was last time, then you're not too worried about it because you have a W on your side. So what do you guys think the strategy would be? Are they going to change the playing 11?
Against Bangladesh?
Well, it's a batting friendly track. It's a different track.
Mhm.
Do you need to play that second spinner, or do you just stick with one spinner? What are your thoughts?
Who do you bring in?
Well, you suggested Fahim last time, right?
Yeah, I'm not
'Cause
fully
he-
sold on him yet, but
No, he didn't suggest.
He suggested, Fahim for
kind of
Nawaz.
said, there could be, but I think right now it's just like,
I don't think we need
if it's
Fahim.
not broken, don't fix it,
Yeah.
right? And then if you got to go into, but then again, I mean, a lot of conversations coming up on Babar Azam and his defensive captaincy. So maybe people want him
That's
to, do something
just,
different
Yeah.
or
Those are just talks.
That's
Those are just
consistently
talks.
unhappy.
Critics are going to
Pakistani
be there.
media.
Critics are going
Yeah.
to talk.
yeah.
If Babar Azam is doing an amazing job,
Yeah.
he's gonna slip up here and there. I mean, sure, why not? But he's winning the games, right?
Yeah,
And
no,
he-
like I forget who it was.
He's
But
leading them
somebody
correct.
was doing an analysis on that game, and they said, you know what, if they were to play out the Pacers at that point, and then you have nothing but spin for the last 15 overs, and there's carnage, you're gonna be like,
That's exactly-
why did Babar do that?
That's exactly what I was thinking
So-
too.
So
Because
you
no
can't
matter
win.
no matter how deep you go, like like on that day, on that card that they presented, they could bat deep.
Mhm.
Exactly. Yeah.
So the risk was not going to be worth the reward.
Yeah.
Right. And if you didn't have the pace attack at the end, the scores would have been completely different.
Yeah,
You were looking
and we were
at-
talking about last game too. That
Yeah.
at 42 overs they were 230,
Yeah.
and to only restrict them to only 266.
Yeah.
That's great.
That's pretty big. That's
So-
remarkable.
And one thing about Bangladesh, they play spin well. They handled Mujibur Rahman, even though he bowled amazing against Bangladesh in the match, but they dealt with him pretty nicely.
and Rashid as well.
And Rashid as well.
Yeah.
Rashid actually, I don't know. Rashid
He was
didn't take a
wicketless
wicket.
that
He
game.
was wicketless that
Yeah.
day. Today also, I think he has one wicket,
Two
wickets.
Yeah.
So in this tournament, in this whole tournament, I think he has
Yeah, he didn't.
5 to 6 wickets.
He didn't come off, but then
He
again,
didn't come off.
they both the games were on a batting friendly Lahore pitch.
And that's where I
But
think,
still, Rashid Khan is one player that actually bowls well in all,
Regardless,
all
that's
conditions.
true. That is true.
that's where I think, like, I mean, think about India,
Mhm.
right? How amazing would it be for them to play on the Lahore track, for example? Like,
Yeah,
you could have some really high scoring games there, So
Yeah.
it's that's quite unfortunate,
Yeah.
but we're not going to get to that or dive deep into that today.
Yeah,
I think just because I want the September 10th or 11th game, September 11th,
Sunday.
I think.
all I know it's Sunday 3 a.m. for us.
Yeah,
Which game are you talking about?
Pakistan,
India, Pakistan.
Yeah.
Because what are we anticipating? I see it being a clear win for Pakistan today. But,
for against Bangladesh. Well, first of all, answer my
Yeah,
question.
let's-
You said no changes in the 11.
No, I think we keep the 11 the way
Yeah,
it
yeah,
is.
we keep
Same.
the 11. We go with the win. But let's talk about what I think. I think Pakistan should bring in first change. I think Shadab Khan or Nawaz should bowl at least a few overs first
First
change
change?
instead of bringing Haris Roof in right away.
It's Lahore, right? Like I said, it's a batting track. I think Haris has a good track record on that pitch. So
Lahore Qalandar, right?
yeah, Lahore Qalandar,
Yeah.
he did great in the PSL.
Yeah, he did great. But
So-
the thing is, it's 50 overs, and Lahore Qalandars, that's 20
You're
overs.
saying introduce spin early.
Introduce spin early. Save some overs for pacers in the middle for the middle overs. Because okay, so let's look at the
regardless of defending or bowling first.
regardless, because I think Pakistan has quality spinners. Shadab and Nawaz, they're both quality spinners. Those were group stages. The intensity of a group stage game and a knockout game, or like a game where you need to perform. The mentality kicks in, and that I'm gonna end up on top. Pakistan players are gonna. It's gonna be a different. They're gonna be different players. So what I suggest, okay, so Bangladesh, their name is gonna open with Mehdi Riaz Hassan. And
Talk about Mehdi, bro.
Yes.
This guy, he just brought it up earlier. He was number 6 against Afghanistan. Didn't
Yes.
perform. They opened with him, ended up scoring a century.
ends up scoring a century. So
Oh, sorry, Sri Lanka and then Afghanistan.
yeah. So I think he's gonna open, right? And then
Yeah.
Tawheed comes in 1 down, and then Shanto comes in 2 down, and then
Also
and
in
then
great
Mushfiq.
nick, Shanto.
Shanto is in great nicks.
89 and then 100.
89 and then
as well.
100. So if you're looking at these, Shanto plays spin well, Mushfiqur Rahim plays spin well, Shakibul Hassan he's plays spin well. So middle order, you have people that people that can batsmen that can play spin well. I think Bangladesh's opening batsmen are going to have some trouble against Pakistani opening pace attack. Shaheen Afridi and Naseem Shah. I think in the first 10 overs, I won't be surprised if Bangladesh loses like 2 to 3 wickets in the first 10 overs in the power play. Once that is taken care of, if that is taken care of, the middle order starts churning in.
Yeah.
Don't keep bowling with the pacers.
Yeah.
Bring in the spinners.
Yeah.
Bring in Nawaz. Bring in Shadab. Yes, they can play spin well, but if they're under pressure, they're gonna have some. And like I said, mentality and then that mindset of go getting it changes. When it comes down to these kind of games. So I think if you introduce spin early
before they set in, and then,
before
Yeah, that's a good strategy. I can kind of see that happening, but I can also kind of see them sticking to their guns for the
Mhm.
most part, just going about business as usual,
Mhm.
right? Because there's so much pressure on this team. It's almost better when you're not a good team because not a lot of expectations are there
Mhm.
from you.
Mhm.
Now, when you get the favorite talk, right?
Yeah.
When you get the favorite talk, a lot of pressure gets
Oh, yeah.
mounted
Oh,
on
yeah.
you, right?
Oh, yeah.
So any change that you make right now is gonna be under the spotlight for a long
Yeah.
time,
Mhm.
right? Why was this? Why did this happen? Or why did they need to do that?
Mhm.
Of course, critics are gonna talk either way, but I think the only thing that they have going for them is the locker room is all in sync.
Yeah.
Pakistan. Yeah.
Pakistan locker
Yeah.
room is in sync.
Yeah,
right
and
now.
one thing I'm so impressed with this team's. I mean, win or lose. I mean, this is just a game, right? Like
Yeah.
you can show up again. You can be the best team, and you can show up against the worst team, and then
Yeah.
on the day, it can totally change. I
Yeah.
mean, the results can change. One team can come in and just at their best and surprise the other.
Yeah.
But win or lose, Pakistan's camp right now is on another level. Like on if we talk on
Very united. They're very together. Yeah.
they're cohesive and they have it's a good mix of good talent.
Yeah.
It's a very all-rounded talent.
And conditions are favoring them too. They
Conditions
have
favor
good.
them.
They've just come out of a series, and
Mhm.
prior to that, they were playing Sri Lanka, right?
Mhm.
There,
Yes.
right?
Well,
So-
majority Sri Lanka and
then
the
Afghanistan.
100 and GT20, and so there was.
Well,
They're all playing.
well,
Yeah.
they've all been playing, but
And
I'm
they're
saying
all-
even in the conditions,
Yeah.
they've just recently played.
Conditions
Sri
are
Lanka,
familiar to them.
right? Conditions are familiar. Lahore, obviously, home ground.
Mm.
They've
Yeah.
played tons of cricket
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And I don't know when the last time Bangladesh came over to Pakistan.
A long time back.
I don't think they've
They
come
haven't
over
been here.
since conditions have been better. I don't
Yeah.
think they've come
Yeah.
over.
Yeah, well, going back to his point, the unity, I think part of it also
Mhm.
goes to the roles that are us.
Yeah.
They're very defined for
Mhm.
each player.
Yeah.
They know what's going on. Everybody knows their role in the team.
Exactly.
And even if they're not playing, they understand, where
I
they
just
fit
gotta
in.
sit out.
I gotta set out that,
Yeah.
I understand that guy's in a better nick,
Mhm.
and you don't see any
Mhm.
faces that are,
Mhm.
down and
Mhm.
just,
Yeah.
Genuinely happy for each other.
Interviews are all happy for each other. You can see because a lot of behind the scenes footage is coming out,
Yeah.
and you see they're actually happy the other person's performance.
Yeah. Every time they do something good, there's always a cake.
Yeah,
Yes,
there's a
always a cake.
lot of birthday celebration.
I love Team Pakistan, man, but if you guys can
Cut
see
down
this,
on the cake.
please, man, cut down on the cake.
Yeah.
Try something new. Maybe bring in like
Some pastry.
some
some
fruit
different
platter or
food. Yeah, you
something.
know what I mean. If you're Pakistan is famous for food.
Yeah.
Bring in like rice, man.
Yeah.
Bring in like
I think the easiest thing in the locker room to manage is probably the cake.
the cake is like
The
yeah,
cake,
whoa,
yeah.
yeah, well, bring it.
They do have good cakes in that part of the world too. So
No, they do have good cakes, but that
Have
doesn't
you
mean
seen
you obliterate that shit.
Have you,
You know what I
have you
mean?
seen that video of Babar? It's a reel. Somebody
Yeah.
Babar's like, I don't even like sweets, and there's just a compilation of him constantly
Yeah.
eating sweets.
Yeah, it's like you have to eat a cake in the dressing room. You know what I mean? Anything good happens.
Yeah.
Somebody's birthday, wedding. I mean, somebody scores like 40 or odd runs, or like takes 5 wickets.
It's a cake.
There's a cake coming.
Yeah. Maybe there's a joke there that we don't know about.
Somebody has a sweet tooth. We don't know, but yeah.
You know what? I left a respectful comment on PCD's page on Instagram. I'm like, guys, please, just I
Just
love
lay
you
off
guys.
the
Anything but the cake.
Anything. I've seen enough. I'm like following them.
Or switch it. Get a chocolate cake.
I follow them on
It's
Instagram.
always
Exactly.
it's always that same cake.
It's always like the white cake with the blue
Yeah.
outline.
Yeah.
I don't know what that is. So, but like,
You pay too much attention to that.
no, I'm just saying. Like, it just comes up like it's a cake. Okay.
So
But
guys,
yes,
Back to
cake aside,
back to the topic. Yeah, really back.
cake aside, if they win the championship and then eat as many
Eat
cakes.
as many cakes.
Yeah,
how about Sri Lanka though? They've been looking like in a good nick.
they look like
They're coming off 2 wins.
they're the dark horse of this tournament, I believe,
Yeah.
because
It's a home tournament. It turned out to be a home
it
tournament.
turns
for
out
them.
to be a
Yeah.
home tournament for them. And plus, I think they're the team right now that they're in a stage where nobody pays much attention to
Yeah,
them,
exactly.
right?
They're kind of being slept on.
They're going to
Yeah,
be slept
yeah,
on, and
I
then
agree with that.
and all of a sudden you hear Sri Lanka. That's what happens to.
Well, they're the defending champs.
Yeah,
they won the They won the last
T20 Asia Cup. Look,
yeah.
they beat Pakistan in the final.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but like they beat them in the final. I mean,
Yeah.
Pakistan was a favorite again, right?
Yeah.
Dark horse, that
Yeah.
vibe coming in,
And they still have a strong start to the strong start.
I think that's to say I think Pakistan and Sri Lanka are very similar in that sense that when they're almost making it into the playoffs into the final, then they do better.
Yeah.
Right. So because this game was so close,
Yeah.
it's just gonna bring their team a lot more,
Yeah.
closer together to believe that they can win this tournament again.
I hope. So.
I think they can. To be honest with you,
They're
because they should actually they're lucky to be where they are.
They are
Honestly,
lucky, but I
they're
think
lucky.
that kind of puts them
Exactly.
in a better
They should take as
situation.
much. They
Yeah.
should make as much out of this opportunity as possible because tomorrow that this same thing might not be there.
They almost
They shouldn't even
one ball away.
Yeah, exactly. They shouldn't even. In my opinion, I think it was Afghanistan that was meant to be in the Super Four, but they made it. Kudos to them. But take as much off of this as possible.
So what are the games coming up? So we got Pakistan, Bangladesh tonight.
Yeah,
3
Pakistan,
a.m.
Bangladesh tonight. Then we have Sri Lanka, Bangladesh on Saturday.
Yeah.
Saturday for us,
Yeah.
3 a.m. And then
Pakistan, India,
the big one on Sunday,
Yeah.
3:30 a.m. again for us.
What's the forecast looking like?
Last time I checked, it was a lot of passing showers, but like heavy rain, like 10 to 20
On
millimeters.
September 10th.
But I checked it like a couple days ago, so it could change. But expect a lot of rain delays and
Pakistan, India game.
Well, throughout
Throughout
the whole tournament, it's like that.
Yeah.
Um,
As long as Pakistan India game happens,
they
man,
were
that's
talking
all-
about
that's
moving
all
the
I wanna
games
see.
out of Colombo.
Yeah.
They were talking
Man,
about
move it to wherever. Move it to like.
Move it wherever we see the
Yeah.
full contest.
Full, yeah, exactly.
Indoor
You
dome
know,
or something.
It doesn't happen often that in 1 year you get to see these teams go
Yeah.
at each other like 4 times at least.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
When
In a
when
setting
you
like
get
that,
to- in a setting like
tournament
that,
setting,
in a
yeah.
tournament setting.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if ICC even because bro, like look at this. This is the biggest game all in the world. Like
Yeah.
I mean, it's the most. It was last World Cup. Pakistan India was the most watched game.
Yeah.
Cricket match, right?
Yeah.
Most watched
I think it was like
in
2
all sports.
2 billion or like 1.
In all sports.
Yeah,
Imagine
something like that.
in the globe, there's like tons of sports.
Yeah.
Soccer. I mean,
Yeah.
golf, baseball, basketball. You name it. There's sports that are being watched all over the world. But
Yeah.
Pakistan India was on the top. Even if ICC takes it, like take if the game is, if you think the game is getting washed out, take it to the home nation. If other games are happening there,
Yeah.
the games just happened and nothing wrong with.
I know,
It's
but
just
India.
I mean,
That's
politics
just
aside,
the
there is.
BCCI would
I mean, in ideal conditions,
Yeah.
you should be watching this entire Asia Cup between
Yeah.
Lahore, Multan, Rawalpindi, and
Yeah.
Karachi. Those are your venues.
Exactly.
That's where the entire Asia Cup could have happened there.
Yeah.
It's really shitty.
Move the game there instead of wasting this.
Yeah.
Just wasting the game.
Yeah.
And people are expecting that. I mean, I get it. Like like these organizations, they don't really care about what people they go with, what they have to fit in their schedule, and
Yeah.
how they're gonna accommodate the
security concern.
the security concerns. Sure, they have to satisfy the cricket boards, right?
Yeah.
What their demands are.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying. I mean, if the game is getting washed out, if you think the game's gonna get washed out, move it to Pakistan. Move it. Take it.
And that's one thing that's always going to hold cricket back.
Yes.
But it also adds.
Well,
to
if you
the
think about
elements
it, but if you think about it, like recently,
Let the boys play, man.
sports and politics should not mix, right?
Well, yes.
and somehow they get tangled in, right?
Yes.
So if it's a security concern, why isn't it a security concern when Australia came, or when England came, or when New Zealand came?
Yeah.
Those have all been rectified.
Exactly.
Right? And
No,
Pakistan's
yeah.
working really hard to revive cricket in Pakistan.
And I think it is. There's no doubt that cricket in Pakistan has been revived.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been tournaments that are happening.
Absolutely.
PSL,
Absolutely.
biggest tournament, one of the biggest. PSL is second to maybe IPL.
Yeah.
It's right. It's one of the biggest tournaments happening. Tons of like players from different countries come and.
I personally think
participate.
Indian players want to play in Pakistan.
They do.
Personally,
I don't think the players and even
I get it.
I think the people even have a problem.
Yeah.
It's the politicians.
It's a politician.
It's
I mean,
a politician.
look, you can retire. Like Kohli can basically retire from international cricket soon
Yeah.
and never have played a game in Pakistan.
Yeah.
So that might
Exactly.
that might play on his mind. Like I don't have
Yeah.
a historical knock.
Yeah.
You remember the 03-04 series? There was a series around that time. Pakistan went to India, ended up winning there. India
Yes.
came to Pakistan, ended up beating Pakistan in Pakistan. Those were some good series. Yeah, so it's just unfortunate, man, that we don't get to see the greats of like Kohli or some of these other guys ever come to Pakistan and play the game there. But
Yeah.
unfortunately, we don't make the rules, right? And we got to make do with what we have.
Yeah.
And this year's Asia Cup is split.
Yeah.
I think last game here today, right?
Yeah.
Tonight, later tonight for us at least, or early morning for us, right?
Yeah.
And then rest of the games are in Colombo.
Yeah.
So just want to see a good contest, regardless
Yeah.
of where it is. I don't want to
True.
see games getting washed out or
Yeah.
no
Exactly.
contest or anything like that. So yeah, no, I'm excited. I'm
Yeah,
excited
and
for
I
that.
think the greatest setback of the modern cricket era is literally losing out on Pakistan versus India series in the home turfs, where crowds are literally begging for a game, Pakistan versus India. Sachin and Ganguly versus Wasim and Waqar and Shoaib, right? And now it's like Kohli, Sharma, and the likes versus Shaheen and Naseem. People want to see that.
Yeah.
But it's unfortunate that these things do. But whatever.
Yeah,
The
actually-
test series would be amazing.
Oh yeah, of course. Like naturally you see, there's a good crowd last night for Bangladesh Afghanistan game, right?
Mhm.
But
Sri Lanka, Afghanistan as well.
crowd usually starts coming in later on in the
Mhm.
evening because
Yeah.
look at the modern day. No
Yeah.
one's got 8 hours, 9 hours
Yeah.
to come to a cricket game.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, if this was India Pakistan,
Yeah.
even if it was just a series,
Yeah.
the crowd it'd be a full house.
It would be a full house. The lineup would be like
Yeah.
10 blocks down
Yeah,
the road.
absolutely.
10
doubt.
hours before the
Yeah,
game.
yeah, no doubt about that. No
So
doubt about that.
we need that, and but let's come back to let's talk about these upcoming games. Pakistan versus Bangladesh coming up, and then Sri Lanka versus Bangladesh.
So where do you see the 4 teams? So where do you see Sri Lanka going in the
I mean,
Super
look, like
Four?
I said, Sri Lanka is a dark horse of this tournament. They watch out for them.
Yeah.
Bangladesh, I think, is probably out of these 4. I think is probably gonna, in my opinion, I think if I see the future and if I see the future correctly, I think Bangladesh is gonna exit before anyone else. No disrespect to Team Bangladesh, but it's just that Pakistan, India are way too heavier teams, way too much for teams like Bangladesh and Sri Lanka to handle, especially in the Asia Cup. It's very compact, very competitive, and you always expect the crowd always expects Pakistan and India to always meet in the final, even though it's not the case always. Pakistan have lost to Sri Lanka in the final before. In 2013, I believe that was the
Recently
case.
in the last T20.
Pakistan, Sri Lanka, they lost to Sri
Yeah.
Lanka again. So you know what I mean. Sri Lanka
Sri Lanka's always that team, right? That can somehow find a way to beat you.
Yeah.
It's a very collective effort, team effort. They find a way
and
to-
exactly for that reason, I say India Sri Lanka, that matchup is going to be a matchup, very crucial matchup.
Yeah.
You can't be like, oh, India is going to beat Sri Lanka, convincingly.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a good game.
Yeah.
Even though I think Sri Lanka, they're lucky to be where they are.
Yeah.
Does Pakistan play Sri Lanka before India plays Sri Lanka, or is it India Sri Lanka and then
I
Pakistan?
haven't
Good
looked that
question.
far. I haven't looked that far, but I think I'm liking the format.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Instead of doing semifinal, you do a
Super 4.
Everybody plays each other, and the
Yeah.
top 2 teams go.
Yeah.
It might get spoiled due to the rain.
Yeah.
Some of the games might be rain affected. It might get spoiled.
Yeah.
But I'm really liking the format of it being you play everybody. Now you prove yourself to be the best top 2 teams to play the final. Instead of having that matchup, one game, winner or lose it, you either go in the final or not.
I think with the amount of, and this is just a side thought, right? We're going off the pitch perfect to pitch imperfect, right? So, ICC at this point should make it mandatory for every country that cricket's played in to at least have one stadium that you can cover. Go indoor.
Like a
Yes.
dome.
I was
dome
thinking,
or a
yes.
split or something like that. Like,
Yes.
we're in 2023.
We're 2023, bro.
You know what I mean?
The football. I mean, look at NFL.
Football, NFL.
NFL.
It has half the audience that cricket does.
Yes.
Right? Why do we gotta suffer and not watch India-Pakistan contest
India-Pakistan
because
matchup,
of a
yes.
rain?
Yeah. I mean, sure. Yes, the
I think
cost
it's one of it's not just the cost because weather itself is a factor when it comes to cricket. It's one of the factors of how you decide to approach the
absolutely.
game.
But isn't it better to have a game than not have a game?
Not have a
I
game.
agree
And
with
then
you. I'm not saying.
and then
I'm
look,
saying that's the reason
the
why
rain
they
comes
wouldn't do
in,
Yeah.
you retract it, you know, or you close it and then you retract it again.
I mean,
right?
exactly.
So-
And look, we're living in an era where we know that it's going to rain or not.
Rain or
We
not.
have we can predict the
It's been
predict the
it's,
weather for the next 30, 40 days, even longer.
So it's monsoon season, right? Basically, that's basically what it is. Like late August, right? Rains are coming in everywhere, right?
Yeah.
So the whole venue is questionable.
Yeah.
You know, to be honest, the venue could have been better off in like Bangladesh than it is in Sri Lanka.
Yeah,
right now,
I
just
agree.
because of the rain.
Even in Pakistan, keep games in Pakistan. I mean, okay, at least make the big games, the games that matter. Pakistan versus India is the biggest game everybody's waiting for. I mean, in India, when when it goes to India, the World Cup, it's gonna be the same situation. You know, if
well, it brings us just back to the same thing, right? It's more political than it is.
Yeah,
people want it. Players want it, but that's just the reality.
Politics and sports is a very, it's like ketchup and like I don't know,
fries.
No, they're a perfect match. They're a perfect matchup. I mean, ketchup and you can and paratha, right? You know what I mean? It doesn't go.
There's people that do that.
It's probably him.
He's
the people. He's that people.
I've never tried that. I've never tried paratha. I've tried parathas a lot, man.
But it depends, though. You know, like you got an aloo paratha.
Relax.
So
this is pitch perfect.
Yes, this is not a cooking show, but like
this show.
Hey, food is part of cricket. You can't stay awake all night and watch the game.
Are you watching tonight?
I'm gonna watch tonight. I think I'm gonna watch tonight. Even though I'm gonna suffer tomorrow, but that's the story of a cricket fan overseas.
in North America.
It's North America. That's just the way it is.
Although next World Cup,
when the entire North America is trying to go to sleep and wake up early, you know, to
5
get their
a.m.
bread and butter.
Yeah.
You know, the cricketing nation is waking up.
Yeah.
And
next World Cup is here, so you won't have to do that.
That's good. And they have to do what we have to do.
So they'll know how it feels.
But you know, going back to what you were saying earlier, I think I would agree with him on that one. I don't see Bangladesh going far.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see Bangladesh going far. Therefore, I'm predicting a convincing win tonight.
Yeah.
Right. Not convincing, like they're going to be all out under 50 or something like that. But I think Pakistan is going to win the toss. It's bold predictions. Like him, I might be able to see the future. I don't know. But Pakistan, I see them winning the toss, batting first. You know, setting up a nice
crystal ball going.
Can you see what I'm saying?
I see it happening. I see you're very close.
Yeah, very close.
I see.
So
Pakistan win the toss, batting first.
Win the toss, batting first, setting up a nice big total.
What do you feel? Give me a range. 3.
I'm thinking 315.
315.
315.
With your bold prediction, I thought you would go 350.
No, 350. I think 315 is.
And if Naseem Shah goes off, it can go to 350.
Exactly.
I'm just.
But I don't think it comes down to Naseem Shah. I don't think we bat that deep today. I think.
Give me your 2 best performers for Pakistan.
Oh, so you're saying we're gonna be 315 for like 4 or something?
Yeah.
So there's gonna be at least one century and like 150.
Oh yeah, I'm predicting that. I think Fakhar Zaman is one of them for me. And I see, for some weird reason, I'm picking Nawaz to do something.
That's not top 4. That's like.
Well, no, I'm just saying performers, like all around for the whole match, right? But there's a chance Nawaz might be going up. You never know.
Oh, yeah.
You just never know.
I mean, remember that innings that he played against India?
India going up.
He literally changed the game.
If Pakistan has any experiments to do, this is the match to do it. So
I wouldn't do any experiments.
No, I think what we were talking about earlier, maybe what's called that they should introduce spin
spin a little early.
Yeah. Keep the pace.
Yeah.
A few overs, have it in the bag just in case. And honestly, I don't want to end up looking like a fool in the future, but by really downplaying Bangladesh's competitiveness and their talent. But honestly, I think Pakistan should take this game as an all-out. Let's try what we can do at least to fix. Because the thing is, Pakistan India game. Yes, there's some things for India to take away from.
Yeah.
But also Pakistan has a lot to learn from that too. Especially, I mean, no doubt, Babar Azam is an amazing captain, and I think he will prove it today and in the future.
Yeah.
But what's it called? There's a few tweaks that he needs to do. I mean, listen. If you're better off when you learn.
You got to get unpredictable. If you're the Pakistan
100%.
team, even though things are working, you got to be a little bit unpredictable.
100%. That is one of the most. I think unpredictability. I think they need to work on that.
Right.
If there's anything, I mean, amazing talent in Pakistan camp, but one thing is unpredictability. That if they work on that a little bit more, they can go from like
As a team or as bowling, batting?
as a team
As a
their
team,
as their
just be
approach
unpredictable.
strategically.
Think about it this way, right?
know?
You get
You can't be like have the same playbook all
Yeah.
the time. You know, you gotta
you
have
usually
room to
get
change.
Bobber coming one down,
Yeah.
right? You got Bobber
Tender
coming one
number
down, not number 9, but you lose him early or something like that. You lose a few wickets early,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then you get a nice bump, right?
Mhm.
Now your opposition's maybe not expecting that.
Yeah.
If they see someone like Nawaz coming in early or Shadab coming in early, they're thinking, okay, he's coming here to take off the pressure.
Right.
That automatically puts some pressure on the bowling side, right? Because now they think someone's here just to go after them,
Mhm.
right?
So
Psychologically,
yeah.
even though he could come and play the most defensive strokes that that there is out there, but
Mhm.
psychologically it does something to the opponent.
True.
And I think cricket is just one of those games where you have to keep playing mind games.
Mhm.
Yeah, right.
In this game, one question, I don't know, this is just me, you know, like I'm pretty I like to think about these things too, on how to, what you can you know, change
or
or
tweak
a little bit.
Yeah.
Shadab, he's not a bad batsman, you know what I mean?
No.
And if he comes to Suman Ali Agha, sure, he's there in there for that number 5 role, that, you know, that special role for him, right?
Steady the ship a little bit.
Yeah, maybe bring Shadab a little early, man. I don't know. It's against Bangladesh
Yeah.
too, you know,
I
and just give him a little exposure to the ball. So when he, you know, goes when he's not just here, not just in the Asia Cup,
Yeah.
later on in the future in the World Cup too.
Yeah.
I mean, Shadab, look, can he not bat? Can he not play shots? He's always performed with the bat.
He's really improved a lot.
He's really improved a lot, and yes, he can look. I mean, he can play big shots, and he can play. You know,
Absolutely.
he can play an anchor role down.
Absolutely.
So maybe, you know, like try him like 5, 6. You know, give him that. You know, he already comes in at number 6. You know,
I think we were
6, 7 with Iftikhar being at number 6.
Yeah.
Salman Ali Agha being at 5, right? And then no, because Babar is 3, then Rizwan is 2, 4, and then Iftikhar, and then Salman Ali Agha, right? I think Salman Ali Agha comes before Iftikhar. Salman Ali Agha is number 5.
I think Chachu gets his century.
Yeah.
Chachu gets a century again.
Yeah,
Give me your 2 performers.
I would say, you know, it's Iftikhar Chachu. I think he really likes to, you know, bundle up these little low ranked teams. I'm not like no disrespect to Bangladesh, they're an amazing team, but like these teams that are ranked a little below, you know, below the top teams, right? He really likes to perform against
They like
teams
to put them
like
in their place.
put them in their place. You can say
His
in a
word.
sense.
His words, not mine. I'm just completing his thoughts.
You know, and I would say if Iftikhar goes off today, I think he scores a 50, 60. And the second, I think from pick of the bowlers, I think Shadab. Shadab is going to be.
What about what about yours? And then give me your performers on the Bangladesh.
I think Imam builds a nice long inning.
Mm-hmm.
He's due to come. He pretty much scores a 50 plus every 3-4 innings.
Yeah.
So he
I
comes
heard
off
something about Imam Luck. It's a little bit off topic, but he basically said that he doesn't have his mom coming to watch the matches because every time he's fielding close to the boundary, they hear the word parchi, and he never wants her to hear that. So I thought that was kind of touchy.
Yeah. That was. It is what it is. But as I would say, as an international player, I mean, he's playing. He's playing. He's
earned it. He's earned his spot.
His average probably, I think, second to Babar, or might be higher than Babar.
No, he's a good batsman, no doubt. But it's just that he needs to let that thing go. Nobody. I mean, if you're playing at such a high level,
you gotta have a little bit.
You're prone to judgment. Yeah. You're up there to be judged, right? And people are gonna say stuff.
Maybe his feelings are okay, but his mom's feelings.
Maybe
he can't handle.
Moms are moms.
He's like, I can handle it.
I can handle it.
Exactly.
That's good. But anyways, going back to
Imam, definitely going off, and of course King Babar is gonna come through. I think those two are gonna have a nice 150, 200 run partnership.
Pretty predictable. Pretty predictable.
And going back to your guys' comments, sending Shadab or Nawaz, I don't think I would mess with that at this point. I think maybe if you're chasing and it's a high total that you're chasing, maybe. But other than that, I would stick to the same roles that you have at the moment. Just because you've only gotten one actual game as a batting side to test this lineup out, I would stick to the lineup. Go let them play their role. You know, do what you're supposed to do, and then maybe if you won 2 in a row, you beat India on Sunday, and then you can do it.
Yes, for me, the middle order, in my opinion, I think it should be Shadab at number 5.
Yeah.
Then if the then Salman, or Shadab, Salman, and then Iftikhar.
You
Shadab,
have to
I think.
remember it's a 50-over game, not a T20. Right?
No. I get it. It's a 50-over game, but Shadab is no like sitting duck. He can bat.
Yeah, he likes to get on with it.
Yeah, he
So-
likes to get on and he likes to play his shots.
I think. Look, I think you cannot have.
Don't do it. I mean, don't
I think
play
the
with it.
approach is you got to be able to.
Don't
No,
listen to me.
I think-
Don't listen to me, but
No,
Still.
I think I agree with you. I think you have to just be dynamic,
yeah,
and we cannot predict that.
Exactly.
We cannot predict when they're going to come. But if you see an opportunity, I think Babar Azam needs to make that call.
Mhm.
You know,
That the
here
thing
and
we were
there,
talking about.
just to spice things up a little bit. You know,
Exactly.
just spice it up a little
Cricket
bit.
is a beautiful game.
Yeah.
You know, play around with it.
Play around with it.
And that unpredictability part. You know, it's not like these guys can't bat.
Yeah.
Shadab is,
Yeah.
Salman Agha, I get it.
No one likes dal chawal by itself.
Exactly.
You make a biryani out of it.
Make
You
a-
add,
yes.
add a few things,
I think-
spice
A
it
little
up.
bit of a char
You
on the
guys-
side. You know what I mean? Mango
some
char.
raita,
preferably.
some
Yes.
There you go.
Some, lassi.
You guys are not used to Pakistan being consistent and reaching the
No,
number
it's not that.
one ODI. You guys are bored. That's what it
No,
is.
yeah, true.
I think you guys
But
are
yo,
bored.
it's not that.
Calm down.
It's not that. It's not that. I'm just saying these guys have talent.
Yeah.
These guys have
But they
talent.
also have a role.
But the thing is, the only reason we can even think about this thing is because they have tried it before,
Yeah.
and it has worked
In a T20 game.
in a
yeah.
T20 game. Yeah,
Yeah.
sure. But look at Afghanistan's game today. It was nothing short of an amazing T20 game. Like look at their batting in the 37 overs. They
Yeah.
went off,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So
I mean, look at Mujibur Rahman down the order.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't it be? Wouldn't you?
Since you've said
Yeah.
bring him up the order,
Yeah.
he has flopped both.
But he's been playing at the same number. He
It doesn't matter.
It
But
does matter. What if he came up the order? Like, what if he came number 5, number 6, and you could see it?
then they would be one more down, 2 runs later.
No, I mean, he could go off.
I think you may have jinxed it.
No, it's just that he didn't get to. Today he was just in a
I think
situation.
no one
where-
at Pitch Perfect here has the Drake curse yet.
Yeah.
So that's one thing we have going
Yes.
for us. So we
Yeah.
cannot have that.
We cannot have that. Yeah. Let's not have that.
Yeah.
curse.
No, so wrapping it up. 2 people from Bangladesh.
I've already said. Oh,
No,
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh.
Bangladesh. I think Mustafizur Rahman.
Yeah.
I think he's the type of a guy who likes to take responsibility on his own shoulders, coming into the in the big games, in the big matches where it matters. So I think against Pakistan, I think he might come in and he might look to get 3-4 wickets.
Okay.
I would see him doing well.
Okay.
And among the batsmen, I think it's about time Mushfiqur Rahim picks up, and I think he's going to pick it up, and I hope he picks it up because they really need him. They can't just rely on Shakibul Hasan, Shanto, and Mehdi Hasan,
Yeah.
Miraz, to come and score all the time. Tawheed, I don't know what he's,
Don't know what he's doing, but
I hope he comes to his senses and plays some good innings. Even though they have a tall order on their hands, it's not a joke that they're gonna be facing. They're going to be facing the steam of the steam. They're going to be facing the front end of the train. So
Yeah.
I mean, good luck to them. But hey, I think Mushfiqur Rahim and Tawheed need to pick up.
Yeah.
But more Mushfiqur Rahim being the captain,
Yeah.
he needs to pick it up and he needs to go take the ball.
Sir, 2 picks from you.
I predict destruction.
Just nobody.
That's I think I'm really throwing myself out there, and this is going against what you're saying, or also with what you're saying. We're the top ranked ODI team. I think it's time for these guys to really come out here and believe that. And I think toy around with Bangladesh a little bit. Show them
Exactly.
who they're playing with.
Yeah.
And really send a message out for the rest of them out there.
Yeah.
Right.
Keep the same energy.
Keep the
Let's
same
go.
energy. Keep the same energy. So I think, Bangladesh. I think they have a decent team. I
Yeah.
don't think they have a team to take them all the way.
Yeah.
Right.
For a team like Pakistan, when the big teams, if you stay professional and if you stay disciplined on the field, you first of all you increase the chances of winning.
Yeah.
You also decrease the chances of injury because
Yeah.
you are playing the part what you're supposed to be doing, and
Yeah.
injuries are part of the team. But if you stay disciplined, you lower the chances of having an injury. You gel together very well if you're disciplined. If you're all over the place, there's no chance that your team is going to stay consistent throughout that tournament.
Yeah.
You come in, you stay disciplined, you play professionally. You've done half the job. The rest is just on to what you're going to be doing with the
And I think maybe think about it.
and also the fielding matters. really,
that-
really
that's-
matters, right?
Yeah.
So if you're coming in, you're staying disciplined, even against a team like Bangladesh, even though they're a top team, among but they're the top 10 team in the world, right?
Yeah.
So if you come in, you stay disciplined, you stay professional against a team like Bangladesh, you take that on to when you're playing against teams like Australia, England, India in the bigger tournaments.
and I think that's exactly what the last game, Pakistan's game, was the decider with India, right?
Yeah.
So the split point game, right? So I think the conversation in the locker room that day is probably you guys were sloppy in the field, right? You did let your bowling get out of hand at some point. That's basically your spinners, right?
Yeah.
So I think they make a comeback today. And I think you see some really sharp fielding today. Plus home crowd. Plus, you're gonna see people pouring in. I think there's gonna be a lot more crowds who cheering you on. So that's gonna be a factor. What day is it today? Thursday? Tuesday. Wow. Okay. I'm already waiting for Sunday.
Well, Wednesday there.
Yeah. So I think so I think that they're really gonna have that in the back of their minds, and they're gonna come out guns blazing, and I think that's what they need, right? Because if you look at Asia Cup, is really a platform for the World Cup, right?
Yeah.
So you've got to, if you want to be, and Pakistan kind of are the favorites, right? Because we're not factoring in New Zealand, Australia, England, those other sides, but they're still kind of favorites. But if they have a Asia Cup win right now, you're definitely favorites in the World Cup.
Coming especially so close together, right?
Yeah, and I think Pakistan already are like.
Yeah.
When
I don't want to say. I don't want to be the one to say, but low key they are.
Yeah,
right?
they are. They're usually when they're in the.
They're a complete team.
They're a complete
well,
team. Especially when it comes to big tournaments like
Yeah.
Asia Cup and World Cup. Pakistan always steps up, and they perform. Granted that sometimes things happen like, oh hey, if they lost and then they won and then
Yeah.
Well, not in the last three
You know.
tournaments, right? They've made the final
They
four or
made
the
it.
final two,
Yeah.
right? So that maybe this is the time that they cross that. hurdle.
And learning, right? A lot of learning has happened. Like what happened to Haris Rauf or Shaheen in those overs, those crucial overs, like against Australia when you get hit, when you almost had the game but then you lost it.
Yeah.
For a bowler, that is something that never leaves you. You never want to be in that situation again.
Yeah.
Haris Rauf being in a similar situation, these guys remember those things and they're not going to let those things happen again.
Yeah.
So if you look at these guys, they always had pace. Sometimes they still struggle with line and length, right? They're trying to get that right, but they're becoming better day by day by day.
I
So
agree.
I think this is actually the team to be reckoned with.
Probably the best team Pakistan.
I agree. It's Pakistan have already
best 11 I think we've ever had, hands down, in terms of talent.
Exactly, and we've already shown that, right?
Yeah.
We've proven it in tournaments. Now it's just the time to win now.
Yeah.
Now is the time to put the pedal to the metal and then just
And win
the tournament.
You got to win.
You have to win the tournament.
You got to win the tournament.
Well, having said that, let's
wrap it up. Yes.
We will see you again on Friday.
Yes.
Before the next two games.
We'll be back before the Sri Lanka and Bangladesh game.
That's right.
And
we'll summarize the matchup that's coming up with India on Sunday.
thank you for sticking around. Stay tuned.